looking into how we can actually continue styling. So looking into this, so we want a kind of a gap or a padding over here, so it's easier to read the text and it's not all the way to the edges and so on. So we're just going to continue adding CSS to this part. Media is these boxes where we contain the image, the title, and the text and the footer in. So we're going to add a little bit more to this. So media, we're just going to add a padding of 0 from top, 10 from right. We're going to add no more. 0 again in the bottom and 10 at the side. So let's do this and try to see what that happens. So we moved everything in a little bit. That's all we kind of need. If we need, we can add more to the content if we want to move things around again and again, but that's really up to you. Right now we have a nice padding that fits together with everything, so it's not entirely to the edge of the platform you're viewing at. First thing done. So next thing we're going to look into is actually the video down here. So how do we make this video fit? Right now, both the text is kind of weird, and the image isn't being covered completely from this and this. So we're going to add stuff to this. Video is the area or the part where the video is being put in. And right now, we're just going to go up here. Where's the video? The video. We're taking this. We're doing a copy. Then we're going back down here and we're pasting this in because I don't want to write everything again. This we don't need to make changes to. The position still needs to be absolute, still needs to be at the top. We don't need to changes to overflow or set indexes, that needs to be the same as well. But we are going to make changes to some of the other things. Height is also auto. Instead of having a minimum width of this, we're going to create an auto. Same with this part, auto. And same with width. So instead of having the 100%, because that can kind of do weird things to your design, we're just setting it to auto in this case. That's the first thing. So let's go save and see what this does to our design. So whoop-de-doo, you can now see our video covers the entire area. So I can scroll out, and this is our normal version. And if I go back in, it still is here. Whoops, just down here. But the video is kind of more scaled to one corner, but this is just one way of doing it. There's probably more than one way. But right now the video is at least containing or filling all of the area we're using here. Next part, we want to actually change the text here. So having this text so we can actually see what it says. So let's get back to our code. And we're going to be looking into, where did my mouse go? Here. We're going to be looking into the footer area because that's where we have our text. So we have footer, SVG, text. That's where we did things before. And right now the font is kind of huge. So we're going to scale it down a little bit. So we're going to add 50 pixels now instead of the one up here, which was, I can't remember where it is, but it's kind of huge. Doesn't matter. Oh, there we go, 120 font size. We're just changing it down here to 50. So let's do a refresh, and now it's more readable in this case. You can of course keep it huge if you want to, but that's up to you. We're gonna start moving them around a little bit because right now Hello Yoda is all the way up here and multimedia is down here. If you like that, then cool. But I want to move them closer together. Since this is being done down here with our SVG, and we actually in here said this text should be placed at X 30%, Y 30%, X, and so on and so on. We can't really just say blah 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 and just change it in here depending on the screen size. So we need to use CSS to target each of these individually, and then we need to move them with CSS. So that's the next part of this. So this is something new for you today. Yet another new thing. So we need our footer SVG text, and then we're going to use the NTH of type. We used this one before. That's not the new part. We need to first move the first one of these, and that will be the hello one. So the text inside the SVG, inside the footer, and the first one of these. We are going to use something called transform in this case. Transform can be used many different things, and we're going to move it, going to use it to move things. And transform and then translate, so we're going to translate, not language basically, but we're going to use the Y and X axis to move them around now. So we can use the translate for that. We are going, I already tested it, so I know the exact numbers because that would be like a lucky guess if I didn't. And I'm going to move them 100 on this X and 50 on this X. That's the first one. So let's click save and see. So look at the Hello Yoda. Bam, it's now down here. Awesome stuff. So if I change the value from here in the first one, I'm going to move it on the x-axis, which is that way. If I like move from 100 to 50, it's going to start over here instead. Something close. I want it at 155, so this space. I also want to move the media down, the multimedia down here. Instead of writing everything again, I'm just going to copy paste the other one and change the 1 to 2 in here, number of type. And then we're just going to change the translation here. Now there's no easy fix to this saying, oh, you need to do this, you just need to test. And we're going to move it 25 pixels to the left because we're using minus. And we're going to use 160, whoa, not 16,000, like this. So click save and push this up. So now it's like this. And once I scale, you can see it changes a little bit, but it's the same does here because we're using a percentage of where to place it. So there will be, when we're using a percentage to create width and float things around, there will be these small things, but in our case, I don't think it really matters because this is a small version phone, so it still looks cool, this still looks cool, and so on and so on. But right now we changed our, why don't I just scale it up, the entirety of our design from a desktop version to a mobile version or a responsive version, and it's that easy. The key thing to remember is you only need to change, to create the changes you need. You already have all of this up here. All this CSS already exists in the smaller versions, so we're only creating the media rules for the things we need to change. That's the important part. Cool, that's it for this time, and next time we'll be looking at how we can actually start making our menu a little bit more cool and a little bit more mobile friendly.